My name is Tiffany and I am a graduate assistant at the Wingspan. Today's presentation will be about literature reviews, what they are, why we write them, and some tips to make sure that you're including the right information. The Writing Center is part of a larger Center for Learning and Writing Support. We offer support services in the 4 different categories listed on the slide. 1. Writing support through undergraduate and graduate one-on-one writing consultants to brainstorm, draft, and revise writing projects. 2nd, tutoring services, which include one-on-one and small group tutoring services for a variety of courses including math, chemistry, biology, physics, languages, engineering, computer science, and more. 3rd, supplemental instruction where SI leaders provide study strategies for note-taking, organization, and test preparation. And lastly, peer academic coaching, which is individual and group support to help students set and achieve goals and develop behaviors, habits, and strategies for success in college. Here's a brief agenda of the topics that we'll go over today. First, why do we write literature reviews? Second, what is a literature review? Third, do's and don'ts. Fourth, organizational strategies. And lastly, proper language. We write literature reviews to demonstrate our knowledge of the field, so this establishes authority on a subject. But it also helps demonstrate to your reader your knowledge of the topic and shows why you are doing the work that you're doing. The literature review identifies gaps in the existing research and places yourself in the conversation, so then your reader knows the importance of the work that you're doing. In this way, you also provide your reader context for why your research is needed, because you situate yourself within the ongoing research of the field. This also demonstrates the importance of your work, demonstrating that it's relevant and needed as it fits within and adds to ongoing scholarship. If you have plans to get published in academic journals or get your thesis or dissertation approved, you will need to be able to achieve these goals to demonstrate to reviewers why your article is valid and adding to the field. In fact, doing this kind of writing should be shaping the trajectory and the development of your research ideas. Through reading what is being studied or what issues are arising or missing in the literature comes your contribution to the field. By providing a map of the development of the scholarship, an idea, or history, you're able to give your reader the context for what you're studying. By explaining the conversation, what is being said, or what is understood about the subject or issue, we provide explanation for our readers as to how our work fits in the field. And finally, in explaining what is lacking and what needs further exploration or representation in the narrative, we point out gaps in knowledge and therefore show why our work is important because it adds to this conversation or knowledge. So what are literature reviews? Literature reviews are a very specific genre of writing. They are a large compilation of information, and as such, it will be source-heavy, meaning that you will have a lot of sources that you are weaving together because the goal of a literature review is to provide a map of the scholarly conversation that is occurring around a given topic. You want to convey the knowledge and ideas that are established already in the literature. But a literature review is not a summary of sources or a place to summarize or define your key terms. It is the place to map out what is being said about your topic. Therefore, literature reviews provide synopses of key points from key scholars in the field, but do so in a way that demonstrates to your reader what the relationship between these ideas are. So, literature reviews also point out strengths and weaknesses in the literature, which helps to guide readers' understanding of the content. Depending on your assignment, you will also state the ways that you will be contributing to this conversation by adding new information to a specific line of thought, expanding a key idea, or filling a critical gap in the scholarship that you have identified through the research you have done in writing this literature review. Another way to think about the lit review is to think about it as a state of the union about the scholarship surrounding a given topic, often within a particular time period. Can be as specific or general as it needs to be, but bank on being specific. Of course, to write a literature review, you will need to do a lot of research and reading, and we want to acknowledge that, but to thoroughly discuss the lit review, we will not discuss how to find sources, but here are some resources for you if you would like to meet with a KU librarian and a link to a citation manager to organize your sources. Now let's talk about some do's and don'ts of literature reviews. Further, the goal of the literature review is to review all of the literature and to present the entire conversation. The opposing view on any perspective is critical because it will allow you to define the context of your research question or idea. In a literature review, putting all of these ideas together will allow you to illustrate the current conversation in the community. You'll be able to see how the different perspectives are responding to each other and how one response grows and develops from another. So here are some things to not do. So don't write an annotated bibliography. This typically summarizes and evaluates the literature one at a time in self-contained paragraphs. These are great for remembering which articles contained what information, but it won't be able to look at the big picture in the way that a literature review can. And depending on your writing style, it might be helpful to create an annotated bibliography and then use that to inform your literature review. While you're presenting ideas and critiquing them, the literature review is not meant to argue for one side over the other. It is meant to set up the stage or discuss the research and evaluate it. You also do not want to build your literature review around defining key concepts or terms of your research. This is not where you discuss what plate tectonics are or what the term means, for example. Rather, you want to discuss what theories, ideas, or knowledge scholars have developed about plate tectonics. Here's an example of a literature review paragraph. Feel free to pause and read this. Since literature reviews combine so many different types of scholarship and has to synthesize and analyze them in a coherent way, it can sometimes be overwhelming to try to organize everything. But there are 3 types of organization that are most useful to a literature review: chronological, thematic, and major models. Chronological organization is the best when you can see how the ideas have developed over time. Another organization type is thematic. Thematic organization is best when there are multiple branches or subtopics of your research. The final approach is the major model. This is best used when there are a few different accepted theories on the topic, where there is some disagreement or a variety of perspectives on the situation. When you write your literature review, it's important to consider your tenses, since this will help establish what kind of statement you're making. The present tense should be used to make generalizations, statements of fact, or report positions, whether it is the author's or your own. This is because these sentences will demonstrate something that is happening. These facts show that this is the case. X fact establishes Y. The author writes about this theory. The past tense is best used to show information related to past research or to report a finding. For example, in 2015, this group concluded that information. Their research found X resulted from Y. The present perfect, which are verbs that include was, were, and an ing ending, is used to indicate current ongoing research and to generalize in the past. This tense combines the conversations of the present and past tenses. Using the present perfect should look something like, they were researching this interaction, or between 2000 and 2010, the general consensus was this theory. To summarize, literature reviews are a compilation of scholarship that demonstrates the relationship between scholars, maps out the scholarly conversation, and identifies gaps. It synthesizes and evaluates past research and current research. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions about the writing process or anything we talked about today, you can schedule a consultation with one of our writing consultants at writing.ku.edu. We have in-person, e-tutoring, and video conferencing appointments available, so you can choose what format that you feel most comfortable with. If you do come and see us, we are located in the Anschutz Library on the 4th floor. Thank you.